Everyone? Ayan, so, good morning, magandang umaga. Na-involve na nagsapa sa mga students from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. And I'm so quite nervous. Guys, please bear with me kasi may pagkamahiyahin ko ako Okay? May pagkamahiyahin ko ako and today I will be sharing to you the beauty of forensic chemistry. Is everyone excited? Half? Bakit kaya half interested yung ilan? Okay. Sorry. Pero nag-ano ako dun O sabi ko sa inyo guys medyo nag-loading na ako. Okay. Sino dito? Let's start immediately our discussion. Okay. Sino po dito marunong doon sa laro 4 picks, 1 word? Okay. Now, I will be showing a picture pero 1 pick, 1 word lang. Okay? So, let's start. Hulangan nyo guys kasi this is related to our topic for today. Nakuha? Okay. Please show us the picture. Okay, sino ang mag-volunteer pumunta sa harapan? Ay, sige.
The word that this picture represents is F4.
F4. Tama ba guys? Okay. Meron pa? Sige, tama naman yun. Tama yun. Pero hindi po yun yung pinaka-core answer. Any guess?
Tama lang po sinabi natin that the picture shows F4, but I would also like to say that since they are foreign, I can conclude the word as forensic.
Yes. Very good. Forensic. Okay, take note of the word forensic. Forensic. Okay? So forensic. Next. Thank you. Okay, 2 picks, 1 word. Sino? Any guess from this side? Ay, sige po ate.
Since the first bit parang science and then the other bit is parang pinipusna, I conclude that it is scientific approach po. But
Scientific.
that's just my guess.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, related naman, pero that is not the core answer. Okay, so any guess? Okay, there is a, actually this icebreaker seems to, stimulate our thinking. Tama naman, si ate, scientific approach.
So, yung first picture is chemist, then yung second picture is dry, kaya I plus I add them or combine them, chemistry.
Alright, very good. That is the core answer. So, if you combine those three, to form ang word na forensic chemistry. Okay? Nakuha? Okay, so what is forensic chemistry? Okay, what is forensic chemistry? Next slide, please. Okay, so basically, you can take note, the main idea of forensic chemistry is to reconstruct a sequence events that constitute the crime being investigated to bring the perpetrator or the committer of the act close to the crime he or she committed. So today we are unveiling the sub-branch of chemistry. Okay? Familiar ba kayo sa organic chemistry at inorganic chemistry? Okay. Now, pwede natin i-apply ang chemistry class And we found out that there are areas, yung analytical chemistry, biochemistry, and this other area or other class of chemistry is forensic chemistry. So basically, ang pinaka-objective natin dito, ano yung application ni chemistry kapag may crime scene? Right? Kapag may crime, kapag may krimen, okay? If there are crimes, how is chemistry being applied? There are methods and procedures that we are going to learn today. Okay? So, in relation to that, okay, next slide po. Let us define forensic chemistry. Okay? So, basically, it is the application of chemical principles in the examination of physical evidence. Okay, please take note, when we say physical evidence, ito po yung mga documents. Okay? Ano ba ang pwedeng ebidensya? Yung blood, yung urine. Yan. Pwede pong mga evidence yung mga yan. Okay, next. Ano ba yung scope ng forensic chemistry? Bakit ba kailangan natin itong pag-aralan? Okay? The first one, it includes the chemical side of investigation. Okay? It analyzes the material leading to legal proceedings. Okay? It focuses not only on the pure chemical, but also the aspects of forensic science. Okay, everyone, please take note that yung word na forensic, okay, basically came from Latin, ang ibig sabihin niyan, forensis. Okay? Yung word na forensis came from Latin word, forensic, forensis. Ibig sabihin ng forensis, in the public court. Nakuha? Okay, in the public proceedings. It means, merong kasamang medtech, okay, forensic investigator with the lawyer. Tapos harap kayo sa korte. That is the main idea. Kaya siya tinawag na forensic chemistry. Kasi ipapakita mo yung evidence. Okay? Pag sa harapan ng korte, nagkaroon ng discussion, meron tayong evidence na ipapakita. Okay? Hindi po siya nagpakamatay. Okay? Siya po ay di ba? Paano malaman na nagpakamatay, pinatay ang isang tao? We will study, we will unveil yung mga chemical principles that governs, okay, the laws of forensic. Okay, for the role, speedy investigation para mapabilis yung crime, investigation to magkaroon ng solution sa crime, and to clear the innocent. Next slide. Okay, please take note the function of forensic chemistry. Basta, tandaan, it aids the investigator. Tinutulungan niya yung investigator. That is the function of forensic chemistry. And then, what we analyze, blood, metals, poisons, wines, buhok, body fluids, gunpowder, and glass fracture. But, I will be focusing first on the blood before we proceed on the next samples. Sino gusto makakita ng dugo? Are you aware kung paano ang itsura ng dugo? Okay, next slide. Mamaya. Hindi pa yun. Okay? Maraming pa natin yung chemical principles, guys. Okay. Babalik tayo sa fundamentals ng chemistry. What are chemical principles? These are essential for understanding the chemical reactions, properties of matter, and interactions between atoms and molecules. Just to simplify, sino dito ang naniniwala na siya ay isang maliit na atom? Nag-evolve, naging tao. Sino ang naniniwala? Okay, may isa. Pangalawang tanong, sino dito ang naniniwala na siya ay galing sa unggoy? May apat. Kayo? Saan kayo galing? Okay, it's not that simple. explain the chemistry of life, okay, we all know that we all started in an atom. Tama? Atom, the union of atom becomes molecule, the union of molecule becomes macromolecule, and then hanggang sa nabuo ang cell, organelle, and then cell, union of cell, tissues, organ, hanggang sa tao. So that is the chemistry of life. Okay? And inside us right now, there are chemical reactions. There are chemical principles that takes place. Tama? Ngayon kumakain ka, metabolism, nangyayari. Anabolism, catabolism, nangyayari. Okay, so just to give you the background of the chemical reactions. Next slide po. In relation to that, since we are talking on the interactions of chemical principles, okay, the big idea that I want you to remember in forensic chemistry is that when atoms and molecules interact, they can, number one, okay, form new substance. Second, they can break apart or stick together. Tama? Those are the three ideas na kailangan nyong malaman. Bakit ko sinasabi ito? Because for you to understand yung next na principles, automations na gagawin natin. In relation to that, meron tayong tinatawag na analytical techniques. Okay? Analytical techniques, these are laboratory-based methods that utilize specialized tools and equipment to analyze forensic evidence such as una, drugs. Okay? How do we analyze drugs? Via ultraviolet, microcrystalline test resolution, gas chromatography as presumptive test, while for the confirmatory, electrophoresis and mass spectrometry. Later, I will show you those principles again. Second, pwede po ba matest ang body fluids using forensic chemistry? Yes. Blood, urine, and other secretions. Sir, anong pamamaraan? Maaaral ang body fluids, spectro, and immunoassay. Next, fibers. Yung fibers, hair and natural. Okay? Fibers. Kasi meron tayong fibers, right? Natural or synthetic fibers. Later on, I will show you the application. But let us deal with the following analytical techniques and samples for now. Next, gunshot residue, explosives, and then toxins and DNA. Sir, pwede bang matest ang elements na nasa periodic table? Yes. Okay? Such as your calcium, potassium, and sodium. And how do we test the analytical techniques? Two methods, qualitative and quantitative. Of course, you all know that. Qualitative answers what it is, and quantitative answers how much. Next slide. Okay. That is the picture of a blood. Yan po yung tinitignan namin sa microscope. Okay? So, by the way, this is your erythrocyte. Sino na dito ang na-dengue? Diba? Na-dengue. Tapos, kukuha, diba tatawag ng mga bentek? Tapos kukuha ng ganang dugo? Ito po yung nakikita namin. Okay? So basically, etong mga nakikita nyo na parang donut, yan po yung red blood cell. Okay, next. Anong tawag doon? Platelets. Ano ang role ng platelets? Ha? Anong role ng platelets? Zitra. Okay. Anong role ng platelet? Ano mo? Okay, blood clotting. Very good. Next, WBC. What are the 5 types of WBC? White blood cell, there are 5 types of white blood cells. Uy! Alam ni... Yes? please memorize Ben ML. Ben ML, basophils, eosinophils, neutrophils, monocyte, and lymphocyte. Okay? Ben ML ha? Well, ang nasa picture ay neutrophils. Okay? Neutrophils. Ano ang indication natin? 3 to 5 lobes po yan. 3 to 5 lobes. Ano yung lobes? Ito yung mga to. Next, usually, to give you information, children, ang central pallor, ito yung parang makinang na area doon sa mismong RBC. So usually, kapag walang central pallor, ang nakita namin parang ganito. Okay, so pwede mayroon kong abnormalities doon sa RBC production. Okay, kasi ang RBC, ang kanyang dapat mature stage, walang nucleus. Pero kapag may nucleus, ibig sabihin, okay, immature po ang RBC. Okay, so I just show you kung ano po yung itsura ng mga RBC. Next slide. Kasi po, blood ang usapan, di ba? Blood ang usapan. So, since it is a blood, ano nga ba ang blood? And what is it relevant to forensic science? Okay, next. There are, so i-recall natin kung ano yung mga classifications ng red blood cell. Una, plasma, okay, RBC, platelets, and white blood cells. So basically, the plasma is the main component of blood. Usually, nandyan po yung water, proteins, ions, nutrients, at saka mga basura. Second, RBC, carrying oxygen. Tama? Third, platelets, blood clotting, and white blood cells. Ito po yung mga sundalo ng ating katawan. Okay, next slide. So bakit ko yung pinakita? Because in the forensic chemistry, meron tayong technique na microcrystalline dissolution. Anong ibig sabihin ng microcrystalline dissolution? We determine if a blood is real. Okay, so knowing na yung red blood cell merong plasma, okay, RBC, WBC, and also please take note, my main component ang RBC. Ano yung main core ng RBC? Hemoglobin. Very good. Yung hemoglobin, okay, quaternary protein in nature yan. Okay? Since it is protein in nature, pwede siyang ma-crystallize, pwede siyang ma-precipitate, at pwede mo siyang ma-acidify. Okay? Now, let us apply this to crime scene. Okay, usually, test na to, we have Takayama and Techman's reagent. Please take note that the Takayama and Techman's reagent are used methods to differentiate a blood and a blood stain. Okay? So what is the positive result in Takayama? Pink needle crystals. And then, for Techman, brown rhombic crystal. Ganito yan. Sir, bakit dito naging needle, bakit dito naging rhombic? Basically, if that is real blood, when you heat the blood, okay, and then you add yung mga reagents ng Takayama, it should crystallize or precipitate the hemoglobin. And that is the reason kung bakit nagaganyan yan. Okay? So that is the microcrystalline solution. Well, that is a microscopic test. Sir, yan lang ba yung pwedeng method na pwede i-apply doon sa blood? Hindi po. Ang blood can be subjected also to, next slide, blood typing. Alam niyo na bang ang blood type nyo? Can you explain? Aware ba kayo ng idea sa blood type? Bakit yan ang blood type mo? Hindi pa. Di ba? Bakit yan ang blood type mo? Alam mo lang, blood type A ka, blood type B ka, blood type AB ka, blood type O ka. Okay. These are the different types of red blood cell type. yung outer layer ng blood, may mga surface markers in nature. Take note ha, antigen in nature. Ito po yan. Ang surface marker ng A, by the way, this is just illustration to show you kung bakit malalaman mo ang blood type mo o hindi. B, AB, of course, nagkasama yung surface marker ng A at saka B, and then O. Nakuha? Now, sino ba ang laging nagtitrigger kay antigen? Meron tayong component na nagtitrigger kay antigen. Or by the way, si antigen, tinitrigger ni antigen. Yung substance na tinitrigger ni antigen ay antibody. Tama? Because the word antigen stands for antibody generator. Okay? Antibody generator. Now, etong tandaan nyo guys, the presence of antigen, okay, always triggers antibody. Tama? The presence of antigen always triggers antibody. Okay. Halimbawa, let's put it into practice. Ako, blood type B ako. Blood type B ako because ang surface marker or antigen na nasa blood ko ay B. So, meron ako pan-test, di ba? Nakapanood na ba kayo? Pag nagpa-medical kayo or na-expose sa clinic, may pinapatak kami. Kukunan namin kayo ng dugo, tutusukin, tapos lalagay sa slide, and then may papatak kami. Yung pinapatak namin, those are antibody in nature. So, ano ang tawag doon? Antibody A and antibody B. Right? It means, pag pinatak namin yung antibody A doon sa dugo nyo, kung saan nag-clot, kung saan nagkaroon ng clumping, that is your blood type. Okay? That is your blood type. Kung saan nagkaroon ng clot, ng clumping, that is your blood type. So, halimbawa, blood type B ako. Kasi, nung pinatakan ng anti-sera or antibody B, yung aking red blood cell, doon siya nag-attract. Because the antigen always attracts antibody. Kung ano yung antigen na meron ka, yun yung pupuntahan or lalapitan ng antibody. Nuggets ba? Chicken? Nuggets. Tama? Chicken? Okay, sure ba? Nuggets nyo. So, kung walang clumping or kung walang clot, ano ang blood type? Ha? Walang clot, walang clumping. Ha? AB? Guys, ano ba yung structure ni O? Wala naman siya. Meron siyang reduced, okay? Lesser antigen. So usually walang nagka-clot. Pag nag-clot yung dalawa, AB na. Nakuha? Yun. So, kailangan na ba, sir? Chicken na? Chicken? Nuggets. Okay. Good tayo. So, una, microcrystalline. And then second, blood typing. Third. Next slide po. The blood can be subjected to blood stain pattern analysis. Okay, ano ba ang purpose ng blood stain? Usually, to interpret the stains of blood. Huh? Ano yung pinagsasabi mo, sir, na blood stain? Okay. Next slide. So we can relate forensic chemistry and blood through this method. Ngayon, hindi ata nasabi na hindi lang po ito chemistry. Kailangan ko ng mga batang actors para malaman natin kung saan ba Okay, guys, ganito po ang ginagawa. Sabi nga natin, we are forensic chemistry. In forensic chemistry, we are dealing crime. So, paano natin ito ma-apply? Sir, anong pangalan mo?
LJ, ano ba? Alj.
Alj. Magaling ka bang umakting?
Medyo po, medyo po.
Sasabihin ko na. Crime scene number 1. Lalapit ako, sasaksakin kita. And then show me kung paano yung nasaksak. Okay? Ready? Take 1. Guys, ha? 1. Action! Okay. Sige, sige, sige. Okay. Sir, anong connect nun? Usually, yung mga dugo kapag sinasaksak ganito ang itsura. Low velocity. Di ba kapag nasaksak kayo, tumutulong na yung dugo, ganito ang itsura. Tama? So, pwede natin gawing method yun, blood stain spatter, okay, para ma-interpret yung cause ng crime. Siya ba ay sinaksak? Siya ba ay binaril? Siya ba ay pinupok? Ganun. Next! I need another one. Let us demonstrate this one. Oh, sir! Yung naka-green. Treating the medium velocity impact. What's your name, sir? Okay, Kai. Ang ating crime scene number 2, habang nakataligid ka, pupukpukin kita. Okay? So, you face your classmates, and then, i-demonstrate mo kung paano yung mapukpuk ha. Dito sa likod, pupukpukin kita. Okay? Action. Number 1. 3, 2, 1, action. Ganun pala mapukpuk. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Usually, kapag ang incident ay pinupok, medium velocity, yung dugo. Okay? Kaya, Pater, pwede mo siyang matrace. Next! I need 1. Sir. What's your name?
Go, Raj!
I'm ready po.
Okay, so ipapakita natin ang high velocity impact. Do you watch movies? Gunshot ha? Show me. Gunshot. Okay. Babayan kita, tapos ipapakita mo sa kanila kung paano ba yan. Rolling, 3, 2, 1. Diba? Tingnan ninyo, maraming natatagong talent ng bawat isa sa inyo. Okay? Well, what's the purpose of giving those scenario? Kasi nga, in forensic chemistry, hypothesis ang kailangan. Kailangan imagination. Okay? Lalo pag nasa spreadsheet ka. Next slide, please. Usually yung high velocity, yun yung mga biological communication. Okay, just to show you, the blood spatter pattern ng gunshot blood spatter, high impact, and then stabbing, blood spatter, ito, stabbing, and then blunt object impact. So basically, kapag ito yung mga binato o kaya pinupok, ganyan yung itsura. So, that is the beauty of forensic chemistry. Blood stain pattern analysis. It can be subjected to microcrystalline, blood typing also. Next, itong blood stain pattern analysis. Siyempre, yun sa blood type para malaman yung blood type ng suspect or the victim. Next slide. Okay. In relation to that, blood can also be tested under spectrophotometry. Okay? We use spectrophotometer, and this is the principle na kailangan ko po i-share sa inyo kasi sa medical practice, sa medtech, ginagamit po namin ang ganitong principle. Okay? But basically, you have here the light source. Okay. So, simplify natin. Ilalagay mo dito yung sample. Okay. May I have a bottled water? Sige. Yeah, bottled water. And ganito lang, i-demonstrate ko na itong principle na to. Okay, so this is a blended clear water. So ito lang yan. Ito lang spectrum. Okay, so let's pretend this is the sample. Okay, this is the sample. Ito ay clear sample. No? Pwedeng blood, pwedeng kung ano-ano sample yan. Pwede. So kapag pinadaan mo siya sa ilaw, so basically, anong nakikita ninyo? Si ate, nakikita niyo ba yung transmittance? Okay, nakikita yung transmittance. Basically, yung na-absorb, yung pupuntang ilaw dun sa sample, absorbance yun. Tapos, yung light that has passed through the sample is known as transmittance. Okay? O, diba? Nakikita niyo? Clear? Ngayon, kukuha ako ng sample. Laman yung sample. Anong mas malino? Yung tubig o yung kape? Tubig. Okay mo, sobrang concentrated. Ibig sabihin, marami siyang ma-absorb na light and it reduces, it lowers the transmittance. Nakuha? Okay. Ngayon, ano yung application nun doon sa field of my profession? Next slide po. Okay. Next slide natin. Familiar ka dyan? Well, this is a blood of a person with too much cholesterol. Blood of a person with too much cholesterol. So, ano nangyari? Ibig sabihin niya na kapag nilagay mo siya doon sa sample, lesser transmittance. Okay? Previous slide po. Saan humuhugot si spectrophotometry? This is an analytical technique to measure how much light substance absorbed specific wavelength. So the principle is Beer-Lambert's law. A is equal to ABC. Ibig sabihin, absorbance is equal to absorption and concentration. Okay? Yan. Next slide po. Next slide. Kamukha ko ba? Gunshot residue. Okay. Ano ang meron dito sa gunshot residue? Next slide po. Ayan. So, usually, to determine kung ikaw ba ay nagpaputok ng baril. Ibig sabihin, ang person, hindi siya pwedeng mag-deny. Or kahit mag-deny siya, pwede natin pahuli. Okay? Nagpaputok ka ba ng baril o hindi? Sige. Submit to paraffin test. But basically, yung kamay ng tao, nilalagyan namin ng paraffin. Okay? Paraffin. Tapos, yan. Papaibabawan siya ng gauze and then paraffin. Next slide po. Okay. Because the paraffin will detect the nitrate component in the gunshot. So, kada putok ng baril, merong nitrate compound. Okay? Yun po yung dinedetect ng paraffin. So, paano ma-detect? Using 2,3-diphenyl slide po. Okay. So, ano ang positive test? Deep blue. Yeah. That's how forensic chemistry works. Okay? Next slide. Next, trace element. This is atomic absorption photometry or flame emission spectrophotometry. Simple lang. Yung flame, di ba yung sample, ilalagay mo yung sample dito, isasak. Okay? Ito yung sample. Isasak yung sample and then paliliyaban mo siya ng flame. Yun lang. Actually, yung principle no. And then next slide. We can determine the wavelength and the color of each trace element. Okay? Pagka ang wavelength 766 nanometers, violet, potassium. Okay? And then lime green 554 nanometers, violet. That is how we determine the elements. Okay? Based on the flame. O kaya naman dun sa color emitted. Next. Okay, chromatography. Okay, what is chromatography? Basically, we separate the components. Yun bang isang mixture pwede mapaghiwalay? Yes. In the presence of chromatographer. So basically, the word chroma means color, graphia means to write. You are writing colors. Okay? Nakikita niyo dito, we have the mobile phase, stationary phase, lumabas to kanina. Okay? Tapos, this is a green ink. Green ink yan, nilagay mo sa sample, and then kapag nilagay mo siya doon sa tubig, basically, ang gusto lang ni chromatography is to determine ano yung component na high affinity sa water at low affinity sa water. Yun lang yan. Kaya lahat ng umangat, high affinity with water, yung mga nasa baba, low affinity with water. Ganun lang yan. Next slide. So, chromatography is used to separate, identify, and analyze components in a mixture based on how they move. Okay, through stationary while being carried by a mobile phase. But the separation and identification. Okay? Next. Yan. Isa pong ginagamit namin is the gas chromatography. Basically, kung paano yung paper chromatography, ganun din. Gas is the one that separates. Okay? And then yung mass spectrometry, it identify and quantify the sample. Ano paano natin malalaman yan? With the use of chromatogram. Okay? Basically, yung chromatogram, lahat ng yung compounds, okay, yung components, it will specify. It will identify. Halimbawa, kapag ka mayroong nitrate solution, pwede nang i-split yun into nitrogen and oxygen using chromatogram. Okay? Ganyan po siya. So, kapag ka mayroong drug test na nangyayari, pwede natin ma-identify yung drug based on chromatography. Next po. Yan, electrophoresis. Okay, electrophoresis. So basically, movement of current in a gel. Yung sample, ilalagay mo siya sa gel, tapos maglagay ka ng voltahe para mag-move lahat ng DNA fragments. Use in DNA po pala ito. And we will correlate it with PCR later. Okay? So next. Yan. Electrophoresis is a technique used to separate molecules. Again, separation again ha. DNA, RNA, proteins. Okay? Based on their size. Next. Next po. Okay. After ng electrophoresis, let us identify the PCR. So basically, yung DNA mula dun sa sample, pwede po natin yung i-modify. Pwede rin natin yung paghiwalayin or pwede natin siyang sirain using denaturation, annealing, and then extension. You are going to repeat that 20 to 30 times. So, kung familiar na kayo dito, familiar na ba sa PCR? Familiar, yung iba hindi. By the way, yung PCR, it is used to create million, okay, billion, several copies of DNA. Okay, so let us correlate yung electrophoresis at saka PCR. Next slide po. Okay. Lahat ng mga ito, DNA fragments. DNA fragments na nag-move doon sa gel. Kapag in-x-ray mo sila, ganito po yung itsura. They appear as bond pairs. Right? Ngayon, ito yung DNA fingerprint mula din sa isang tao. And using PCR, bago siya maging ganyan, nag-PCR ka muna. Siyempre, nag-PCR muna, okay? To split the DNA and then ilalagay mo siya sa electrophoresis. What is the forensic chemistry relevance? Next slide po. Okay. Ang application ni electrophoresis sa crime scene, next slide. Ay. Wala. Reaction. Okay, it means mula din sa spiral, magiging straight, pagkatapos mag-add ng primer. Yung Rhone primer is to cause extension again, to form another layer. Okay? So, ang tinuturo ko dun sa mga estudyante ko para mamadali, so di ba mayroong foil? Foil siya, di ba? Tama? Foil siya. Pagkatapos, magiging straight. So, gaganyan. Tama ba? Gaganon. And then after nun, may primers. Yung primers, ibababa niya yung isa para i-extend. Kung gaganon. Tama? Pagkatapos, gaganon siya. Nakuha? So, ganon. Tama? PCR. Okay? So, kung gusto nyo naman ng maraming beses, na ganon, ganyan. Yun lang yung simplest way na para maalala nyo yung PCR, ha? Tandaan yan, guys. Okay? Meron na ba? Okay. Yung blood sample mula sa crime na ay unidentified o kaya naman being investigated, ikukumpara mo lang siya dito. Okay? Ito yung legend, ito yung reference natin. And then, kapag meron kang tatlong suspect, you do the same on their own sample, pagkatapos, i-match. I-match mo lang. So, meron tayo dito, Jenny, Bob, Mike, and Isa. Now, to investigate it, sino ang may sala? Si Mike? You see the beauty of electrophoresis? Kaya walang takas ang tao. Kahit mag-deny yan. Next. Another picture of a ladder. DNA ladder na lang kasi yung tinatawag ko dyan eh. Para madaling mag-gets. Ladder pagkatapos, yung compare to the suspect. Nakuha? So that's how electrophoresis works. So it's simple lang, di ba? Simple lang siya. Next. Okay. Chemistry. Actually, mga people yan na contributed in forensic science. Okay, next slide po. Okay, so the main object we are investigating is the DNA. So, ito ang purpose. To link a suspect to a crime scene. Kaya yun po ang beauty ng DNA. And DNA is found in all areas of the body. Sa buhok, sa dugo, at sa lahat ng body fluids. Okay, next slide po. In relation to that, sa crime scene kasi, pwede mong mahulaan kung halimbawa sa rape cases, di ba? Sa rape cases, buhok ba yan o baka pwedeng ganun yung question. Buhok ba yan o tali lang? So paano? Malalaman kung buhok o tali. Microscopic analysis. Okay? Because both hair and fibers can be collected by tweezers. Next slide po. Okay, so sa hair analysis, so basically, ang dinidetermine natin dyan, yung structure. Okay? And also, yung presence ng toxins. Alam niyo ba guys na pwedeng ma-determine ang drugs sa pamamagitan ng buhok? Na yung tinatawag natin na hair follicle test. Kung ikaw ba ay matagal lang, o kung ikaw ba ay user, no? Siyempre, pag consumer, iba. Pag user ka, pwede. Using hair follicle. Next slide po. Okay, so basically, it is used to link people or objects to places, okay, that serves as starting point for a particular line of investigation. Yun po yung purpose kung bakit yung hair at fibers dinidetect natin. Meron po akong picture ng kaibahan ng hair at saka ng fibers. Next slide po. Next slide. Ayan. Kapag hair, dapat meron siyang medulla, cortex, and cuticle. Yan ang dapat 3 parts na pwede mong malaman para malaman mo ang buhok. Next. Okay. Ang buhok ay iba't iba po ang microscopic appearance. Okay? Yung medulla ng aso makapal. Science teacher's hair. Kapag ka nagpaday. Ano pa? You can see here, pwede niyong picturean, yung different microscopic appearance ng mga iba't ibang crime-scene hairs tsaka suspected hairs sa forensic chemistry. Kasi pwede niyong gamitin yan na foundation to create investigation and relate it to crime scene. Next slide. Okay, so yan pong itsura ng buhok. Yan ang itsura ng buhok. Next slide. So this is the appearance of hair. So dapat may keratinized yan. Ano tong mga to? Fibers. Silk, linen, cotton, polyester. Okay? Pero sa actuality, kailangan mo lang ma-identify ang medulla, cortex, and cuticle. Okay? At least para makita nyo na fibers lang siya or hair. Next slide po. Next slide po. Okay. I think this is the last. Okay, so yun po yung forensic chemistry. Now, let us move on to forensic toxicology. So basically po, sa toxicology, inaaral lang natin dito yung toxin. Kapag ito ba ay nasa loob ng katawan, more on dose, okay, dose-response relationship. Basically, yung toxicology, we study the adverse effects of chemicals on living organisms. Okay? Next slide. Please take note that sa toxicology, ito po yung mga routes of entry. Ibig sabihin, pwede mo ma-acquire ang mga toxins. Nakuha? When we say intramuscular, anong ibig sabihin yan? Intramuscular, pwede mo yan. So kapag ka nag-i-inject ng intramuscular 90 degrees angle, pagka intravenous, usually, 45 degree angle. Okay? 30 degrees, 15 to 30 degrees angle. Okay? Intravenous. So, pais lang siya. So, saan ano yung mas effective? Intramuscular or intravenous? Intravenous kasi directly sa blood. So, gusto nyo matry kung effective? Intravenous. Okay? Intravenous. Next. Okay. Sir, paano ba natin dose na siya sa sample. Tapos yung sample, ipapadaan natin dun sa gas chromatography. Actually, meron itong mga types of chromatography. Paper, yung kaninang example ko. And then the thin layer. Well, ang thin layer, gagamit ka lang naman ng silica gel dyan as the mobile phase. Tapos yun yung doon mag-flow yung sample. And then the gas chromatography. Okay? But all in all, ano man yung paper man yan, thin or gas, isa lang naman yung objective ng chromatography is to separate, okay, and identify, quantify the substance. And then lastly, yung spectrophotometry. Okay? It identifies and estimate the poisons using yung kaninang principle na ginawa ko. Next slide. Meron pa ba? Okay. This is just an information for those who are drinking alcohol. Blood alcohol concentration, meron po yung mga percentage. Okay? Kaya siguro kapag uminom kayo ng alcohol, sino na bang nakainom ng alcohol dito? Ako po hindi ko po alam. So I never tried it. So by research lang to. Ayan. Di ba usually sabi nila kapag uminom ka ng alcohol, bakit pag nasusobrahan mo, medyo na ano ka na, parang nahilo ka na, di ba? Ano gano'n? It's because of the percentage. Yeah. So please, memorize yung percentage. Ang pinaka-worst po, kapag umabot mo sa 0.45%, yan. Usually, nakakamatay na yan. Okay? Alcohol intoxication. Next slide. Oh! Thank you very much for listening. Thank you po sa inyo lahat.
Ayan, thank you once again, Sir Ibosa. And now, before you